Hi friends, today we're going to look at the Sony ZV-1 and talk about why I think it is the best car YouTuber camera that you can buy today. I've had this thing for a few months now. I bought this as a replacement for my RX100 Mark V, and this was a really awesome upgrade. I've noticed a lot of other car YouTubers are actually using these cameras. I'm pretty sure Hoonigan is using the ZV-1s for a lot of their vlog style stuff, and I also noticed that Adam LZ's videos are using the Sony ZV-1. I'm sure that a lot of other car YouTube channels are using ZV-1s also, but that's the two big ones that I've noticed. Pretty much everything in this video today is going to be recorded on the ZV-1 except for the unboxing. This camera has a lot of features that I think would come in handy for any car videographer. It's actually too many features to mention. This video would probably wind up being an hour long if I did mention every feature, so I'm only going to concentrate on some of the key features in this video.
Books, the camera, the micro USB cable, a dead cat attachment for the hot shoe. This goes over top of the mic and slides right on the hot shoe. That's pretty neat. And one single battery. One thing I noticed that didn't come with this, that came with the RX100 was any kind of like little strap. RX100 Mark V came with this little hand strap. I'm not sure if that was from the factory or not. I think it was. But one thing that I never did get for the RX100 was a rear screen protector. And you can see that this thing really took a beating over the last 3 years. This was like my main vlogging camera. So with the ZV-1 being new and fresh, I want to keep the rear screen pretty clean. So I did go to Amazon and get some rear screen protectors. These are tempered glass. This is actually a 3-pack. I'll put the link in the description below for these two. Really easy to install. Let's do that real quick because I want to do this before I start testing the camera and before I break something. You get wipes. You get one wet wipe. Clean this. It's not very dirty. I'm gonna get this as clean as you can because the screen protector just has like an adhesive, and because it is tempered glass, it doesn't flex very much. So you need this to be as clean and as flat as possible, or else you're gonna have bubbles in your screen protector. Get it on as straight as possible. Press the bubbles out of that thing. Might need to hold the corners for a second or two just to get those to stick a little bit better. So now we can protect our screen. We can do a pretty thorough test now. I always like to keep all my packaging in case I ever sell a camera. That happens sometimes. This isn't really going to be a comparison video with these two cameras, but just in case anybody was wondering, the RX100 is pretty much the closest comparison to the ZV-1. Being that I killed my RX100 Mark V, this seemed like a really good replacement. You can see that it's a little bit deeper. There's a little bit more of a grip here on the ZV-1. They're about the same height. The ZV-1 is actually a little bit lighter. One of the only things that I'm a little concerned about is the mic being right here. I'm kind of worried I'm gonna kind of hold that by accident. But this thing does a lot of really cool stuff really well. One cool little trick is if you have this thing flipped on the inside, which is another reason you probably don't even need the screen protector, when you go to fold this out, it's actually going to turn the camera on automatically. It is really convenient because when you're at an event or something, instead of turning the camera on, pressing record, you can just go ahead and open this thing up, get ready to shoot, and then you can go ahead and press record. Kind of makes it a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. And then when you're done, just close that thing back up, and then you're on your way. Because I am pretty prone to dropping things, I think I am going to take this little hand strap off of the RX100 and go ahead and throw it on the ZV-1, because there has been more than one time that I've almost dropped this thing out of the car trying to take rollers and stuff. So you don't want that to happen. I've dropped this thing a lot before it eventually broke, but I never dropped it out of a moving car. If I would have done that, that really would have sucked. I really don't want to do that with the ZV-1 because they are $750. It's weird that this didn't come with a hand strap, but it has that little mount for one. Now we're good to go. The only thing that does suck with these hand straps is occasionally they will get in front of the lens, and then you gotta make sure you don't do that. You can just kind of grab it like that. So for the basic features of the body, you do have the microphone up top. Comes with the dead cat that you can put on top of here. You got your on button, your mode button, your record button. This button is your background defocus. This goes into a higher aperture, a numerically lower aperture if you want. Then you have your zoom, if you want to zoom in. This does go 24 to 70, which is a pretty standard focal length. This motor does seem a lot quieter than the RX100. It's pretty similar, but I feel like this one is quieter. You have your main menu button, and you have your function button, which is kind of like a quick menu. And you have your playback button and your trash button, and just one scroll wheel for everything. This has a little bit more of a grip than the RX 100s had. So one of my favorite features on the body is that it does have a mini HDMI output. So if you want to have this thing run an external monitor, you can do that. It also has your multi-output, which is your micro USB output, but then it also has a mic output, which for car vloggers, this is going to be a really big deal because a lot of times if you're reviewing a car and you're driving around, or even if you're in a shop where it's loud and noisy, you really need a mic input. You should be running a lav or a wireless go from Rode, because I've seen so many car videos where somebody's in a loud car and you can't hear them, or they're in a loud shop doing something, somebody's grinding, or there's an air compressor running and you literally can't hear a single thing that they're saying. With a mic input, this makes this thing almost perfect as far as size and portability and functionality. I feel like just having this mic input and the nice new flippy screen, this thing was worth it to me. I also really like that it has a tally light on the front. When you're recording, you know that you're recording. There's been a lot of times where I tried to record something either car related or vlog related, and I thought I was recording, but then I'd go ahead and look at the footage and I missed an entire install or cutting something off of a car, and that kind of sucks. So with having the tally light, this thing will let you know that you're recording and you know that you're not missing a shot. One of my favorite features is the product showcase feature. If you hold up any kind of product or car part, it's going to recognize that you're holding it up and focus on that instead of your face. So that would come in handy for any kind of part or tool that you're getting ready to review if you're doing those kinds of videos. So if you're doing any kind of vlog style recording, this is about the angle that you would see. This is with the active stabilization on and the camera's on the Gorilla Pod. You can see it's pretty steady. Lighting in this garage sucks, but gives you a good idea what you can expect if you do use this for a vlogging camera. Let me start by saying that this car is loud on the inside and out because it has Flowmaster Outlaws and we don't have any kind of back seat. We're going to drive around with the Delkin Triple Gecko suction cup mount. It'll give you a good idea of what your vlog is going to look like if you're using this camera for car vlogs. Let's do a quick little audio test driving around, see how loud this thing is. It's supposed to have a mic that's a little directional. You should be able to hear my voice a little bit more than what you would hear from your average camera. For even more concentrated audio, you can run a Rode Go. You could also use a lav mic if you want it to be even more concentrated. This camera also has skin softening, but I'm not using any of that because I want you to see the harshness of my face and how much life is beating me up. I feel like it gets me more street cred. Not sure how the audio is going to be as far as the motor noises, but this is a good sounding car, if I say so myself. This is a rough riding car too. Did notice that this exposes a little bit better than the RX 105 also. It seemed like every time I used that camera for a car vlog kind of thing, I had to overexpose. This is at 0 exposure. Cars are always going to be a little shadowy. Your face is always going to be underexposed. This should expose for my face a bit better. And it seems to be doing that pretty well. It's a noisy ass car. This is such a bumpy road. Whenever you're doing car vlogs, pick a road that's not very bumpy. Another tip is to make sure that everything on your Delkin mount is as tight as possible. If you forget just one screw, it's going to make everything shake a lot more. Make sure everything is solid. Does it sound good? Does it make the motor sound good? There's going to be a lot of rattles and stuff. Just goes from 0 to 100 real quick. So a windows down test. This does come with a windscreen, like dead cat kind of thing. We don't have that on currently because I don't think I threw it in my bag. So I'm not sure if this is going to be picking up a lot of wind noise or not. But this is a pretty good test. So then we can see what it'll sound like when windows are down. Apparently all these roads are bumpy too. In the shadows it exposes a lot better, so it is still trying to compensate for the background light a bit. This camera also does some really cool slow motion effects. You can film in 120 frames per second at 1080, or you can do some super slow-mo, which is like 960 frames per second. You do lose a little bit of quality when you do those. Really good for filming burnouts and stuff. I'm probably not going to film any burnouts because I don't want to get it kicked out of my garage. Here's what it looked like on the RX 100 Mark V, which is pretty much the same slow-mo. Another really cool thing that you can do with this camera is the HFR mode. It's a super high frame rate. You can do 240, 480, or 960 frames per second, and then knock that down to 1080 at 30 frames per second, or I think 24 frames per second. But basically what it does is you hit record and it does a short little burst and records that in a super high frame rate. So we ran over some stuff earlier. We're going to use the HFR, and I'm going to show you what water looks like at 960 frames per second, and then maybe a couple at 480 frames per second, just so you can get a good idea of what it looks like. So if this is the only camera that you had for car vlogging and car photography and a car YouTube channel, and you wanted to do like some really cool B-roll stuff, you can do this. So I have a good tip on it. If you don't have a gimbal, what you can do is take this camera, put it at 60 frames per second in 4K or 1080. I shoot everything in 1080 just because 4K takes so long to edit. And then you can slow it down and make yourself a really nice B-roll, kind of like banger film, put some trap music behind it, and make a nice little like glamour shot montage. So we're gonna go ahead and do one of those with the 2011, but this is all gonna be handheld with just the onboard steady shot in aperture priority, shooting at 60 frames per second. It does make a pretty good stills camera too. We're going to take a couple little test shots. You can see that the sun is really bright and really harsh. So we're going to see what kind of colors and what kind of shadows we can recover from the raw files. If you're not shooting raw, you really need to if you're doing any kind of photography. If we can boost the shadows of this and kind of take down the sun a little bit and warm it up, this should be a really nice picture. Let's take a few at this angle and maybe a couple other angles and see what we got. We don't have any kind of circular polarizer on this, so a lot of the highlights are just going to be a little blown out. That is one of the things that kind of sucks about this camera. There's a way to put filters on it, but it makes it harder to travel with this thing. So I'm probably not going to run any kind of filters with it. It's not made for stills, but it's good to have it as an option. So for battery life for this camera, we haven't charged it at all. This is all on the same battery since we started doing this test. It's actually in the red right now, which kind of sucks because I want to do my closing clip and I really don't want the battery to die. But it is micro USB, which means that you can charge it from pretty much anywhere through your micro USB sources. And I happen to have one in my car already, if I can untangle the cords. So we can record and charge at the same time, which is pretty convenient. It's a little underpass here. Let's see what this sounds like. It's a good sounding car. Man, I love this car. All right, one more bonus clip. Onboard mic. I'm gonna do one quick little aggressive U-turn slash pull. That's it for the video on the Sony ZV1. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm really glad that I got this for a replacement for the RX105. Just with that mic input, I feel like it's a worthy upgrade. It's gonna be my main vlogging camera from now on. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos. If you're into videography and car stuff, I got a lot of cool stuff on the channel. So check it out. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.